I remember you, Mr. Rosser, from the video. You do the Napoleon thing with your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you keep doing that. I just like, wait, I remember this guy. I was like, are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. Ms. Rivers, you good to go for one more plea?
Yes, I am. A little overstimulated, but I'm ready.
Okay. All right. This is 25 SC 003 817, State versus Rosser. Mr. Rosser is here with Ms. Rios, and we have Ms. Willingham for the state. And Mr. Rosser, Ms. Rios, actually, you were supposed to be the one plea for today, and then it morphed into a bunch of others. She's told me you're ready to enter a plea in your case. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, we're going to do that. Ms. Willingham will put you under oath, and then she's going to ask you questions about your case and your rights. You need to answer those questions truthfully and completely and in full sentences. If you've got any questions, someone says something that doesn't make sense, you need to let me know. Will you do that?
Okay, I will.
Good. All right, let's go.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Correct.
You can put your hand down. Please state your true, correct, and legal name.
My name is Jacques Toronto Rosser.
Your middle name is Toronto?
No,
Like-
Toronto. With an A.
Got it.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, I'm not.
How old are you and how far have you gone in school?
28 in college.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, I am.
Do you understand that you have a right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial?
Correct.
Have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in this indictment, including any potential defenses?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss this case with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with her services?
Yes.
Counsel, are you satisfied your client has a full understanding of this proceeding?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the indictment in this case with your client?
Yes.
Do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
Yes.
Has your client been arrested on these charges?
Yes.
The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you or your client know of any outstanding warrants related to these charges?
No.
Do you understand that, I'm sorry, Mr. Rosser, do you understand that this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means the state will recommend to the court a sentence of 3 years to serve 2 months overall, as which you would be given credit for the time you've done in custody. And if I remember correctly, when I looked, that should be equivalent to the 2 months. As to count one, it would be 3 years to serve 2 months. As to count two, serve 2 months concurrent to count one. As to count three, 12 months to serve 2 months concurrent to count one. I'm sorry, I don't have the indictment in front of me.
And then count four is
Okay.
criminal trespass.
One of my emails I messed up, so I wanted to make sure. As to count four, serve 2 months concurrent to count one. You would be required to have no contact with the victim, complete family violence intervention program,
No contact or no violent contact?
no violent contact.
Okay,
No. This is Rosser. No contact.
no contact.
No contact.
And they are co-parents? I mean, co-parents is the wrong term. They have a child together?
They do, Your Honor, but if you recall, this is the case where the child is actually with Mr. Rosser's mom, I believe, and
We'll work through it, but you meant to say no
I
contact.
meant to say no contact.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you'd start again, so the special conditions are no contact,
Contact with the victim, complete family violence intervention program, complete 60 hours of community service, seek and maintain gainful employment, and there's a stay away, Your Honor, and I will get you, I think I've already sent over the updated address. The address in my email is incorrect, but I believe I sent that information. I'll send it again.
okay?
Because it should be in the bond order, the original. Well, no, we didn't enter it.
No, there's an order granting bond from from April 9th. So let me see if it's in there. And that's the address that Mr. Rosser would need to stay away from?
Yes, Judge.
No, it's not. This is one of the ones where it says the court will supply the address to the electronic monitoring company.
Yes.
So if you could email that to Ms. Hansberry, she is doing the
Yes.
dispositions today.
I will.
Thanks.
Okay. And is that what was explained to you by your attorney, Mr. Rosser?
Correct.
Are you aware that the court does not have to accept that recommendation and the court can sentence you to the maximum sentence on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively or one after the other?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to the revocation for the balance of the sentence?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that this is a guilty plea which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
This will be first offender, but.
Yes.
Do you understand that this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including in the federal courts?
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole for anything anywhere?
No, I'm not.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, I am.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect the right to vote, the right to hold public office, the right to serve on a jury, the right to obtain a passport, the right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Can you repeat that again?
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect the right to vote, the right to hold public office, the right to serve on a jury, the right to obtain a passport, the right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Correct. Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of another felony, which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation, even if sentenced pursuant to the First Offender Act?
Yes.
Are you asking to be treated as a first offender under the provisions of the First Offender Act?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever pled guilty or nolo or ever been convicted of a felony in the state of Georgia or any other jurisdiction?
No.
Have you ever been sentenced for a crime, felony, or misdemeanor under the First Offender Act?
No.
Has your lawyer explained the First Offender Act to you?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you violate the terms of your first offender sentence or commit a new offense while on first offender probation, your first offender status could be revoked, you could be adjudicated guilty, and you could be resentenced up to the maximum sentence for each charge in this indictment?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Can you repeat that again?
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
I do. Right.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you, the right to the assistance of counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at a trial of your case, the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence, the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Was it guilty under Alford?
Guilty under Alford.
Are you pleading guilty because you have decided that it is in your best interest to do so?
Somewhat. Yes.
When you say somewhat, so an Alford plea, that's sort of code for, you know what, Judge, I don't agree with everything the state says I did, but I want to work this out. And based on the offer I've received, I've decided that it's in my best interest, meaning Mr. Rosser's best interest, to take this deal rather than sit in jail. And because you could have a trial, you have an absolute right to a trial. And a few months down the road, we could get 12 jurors in here. And the state would have to prove that back in March of 24, you hit Ms. Berrien, you hit an officer, the officer would come in and say, here's what happened, there'd probably be body cam. We could do all that trial, or you can decide to enter a plea. Sometimes someone says, yeah, I did it, I'm guilty. Sometimes someone says, that's not exactly how it went down, but it's in my best interest to take this offer. Does that describe your situation?
Yes, I'm willing to take the offer.
Okay, so you are pleading because you've decided it's in your best interest to do so.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Are you aware that even if you do not admit guilt, this is a plea of guilty and places you in the same position as if you were convicted by a jury at a trial?
Yes.
How do you plead to the charges of willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, cruelty to children in the third degree, battery, and criminal trespass and damage to property in indictment 25 SC 003817?
Guilty under offer.
Guilty on the offer.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes. Yes.
You do not have a right to appeal directly from your guilty plea, but if you believe there is some error in your guilty plea, you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal. The discretionary appeal procedure is outlined in OCGA 5-6-35 and must be completed within 30 days of today. Do you understand?
Oh, sorry.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today for a felony charge and 12 months from today for a misdemeanor charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this guilty plea?
Yes.
Your Honor, if this case were to proceed to trial, the state would expect to show that on March 11, 2024, officers responded to 2909 Campbellton Road, Southwest, apartment 28D, Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, in reference to a fight. Upon arrival, officers were able to speak with the victim, Ms. Barron. She stated that the defendant kicked down her apartment front door when she refused to let him in. Officers observed the door was kicked in, completely removed from its hinges, and the victim stated that the defendant entered her apartment and began an argument with her about certain contents he discovered in her phone. He then attempted to forcefully take his 1-year-old child from the victim's arms against her will. Ms. Harris, the victim's grandmother, stated that she saw and witnessed the argument between her granddaughter and the defendant while they were inside the apartment. Subsequently,
It's okay.
Not to my fault.
Well, that's why you took an offer.
Ms. Barron stated that in an attempt to get away from her angry child's father, she climbed through one of the apartment windows and fled toward a parking lot with her child. She stated that while she was in the parking lot, Mr. Rosser intentionally caused physical harm to her by hitting her in the face with his hand during a scuffle. She stated that she sustained injuries to her mouth. Blood was visible on her lips to officers. The couple's 1-year-old child sustained minor scratches on the right side of her head and the left side of her face. Grady treated Ms. Barron for her injuries. And while officers were continuing their investigation, Ms. Harris stated the neighbors witnessed the physical altercation. Sorry, 1 second. Initially, when officers arrived on scene, they noticed a male running away from the incident location. Officers attempted to make contact with that subject, but he kept running away from the officers towards the tree line. Additional officers came on scene to assist with locating him. A few minutes after, officers started to search the line. And while 2 of the officers were attempting to detain officers were able to search the line, subsequently finding Mr. Rosser. And as they were attempting to detain
I understand.
him,
I understand.
he was accused of striking Officer Dorsal on the left side of his face. The accused was ultimately tasered by Officer Dorsal and subsequently taken into custody.
Oh.
Well, he was taken to Grady. And Your Honor, I spoke with Ms. Barron.
Can you spell her name for Ms. Rivers?
Yes, I'm sorry, let me go back to it.
I'm happy to spell it if I got it right. It's B as in Bravo, E-R-R-I-E-N.
That is correct.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I spoke with her when the defendant was initially picked up or whenever he was on our first calendar. I spoke with her before that date. And at that time, she expressed that she wanted the defendant to get in custody time. She expressed that they were still having issues. However, when I asked her specifically about what those issues were, they were really more issues that are family court related and not any more domestic violence issues. And based on the nature of this case, I believe that the family violence charges were properly charged as misdemeanors. And it was a willful obstruction. And I explained to her that typically this is how this case would resolve, and that it was not a case that I would typically offer a lot of jail time in. She did understand that, and she stated that she wanted there to be completely no contact. I have since tried to actually get back in touch with her, especially as we proceeded with having the bond hearing, and she has not followed back up with me. So at this time, the state would maintain that there needs to be no contact. It is now my understanding, as opposed to my initial understanding, was that the children were with the victim, but it is now my understanding they are with the defendant's mom. That was part of why I wanted to try and talk to the victim about that, but I was unable to reach her again.
Okay.
And I did review the defendant's criminal history. There are no prior felony offenses. He does have one pending willful obstruction, which is also why the state was not in agreement with reducing it to the misdemeanor.
Got it. Okay. All right. I appreciate all that. Ms. Simpson, do you have any records of Mr. Rosser being on felony probation? No? Okay. Ms. Rios?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rosser is 28 years old. He has 3 children, ages 3, 1, and 3 months old. Prior to being in custody, he was working at Taco Bell. He was also attending a technical college studying cybersecurity. He also wants to get an LLC for a medical career. He also does music. I'm just asking that you accept the plea as negotiated. I do want to, and under first offender, he's been in for 57 days, not quite 2 months. So if you're inclined to just do 57 days, we can release earlier. That would be my request.
Okay. He's actually done a total of 86. He was in for 29 days when first arrested, and then he had a little failure to appear issue, and that got him the number you just mentioned, the 57. So he gets credit for all 86. I'm going to structure his sentence a little bit differently because of that, but in line with what you guys talked about. Anything else from you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to say something?
I have a question. Is that one, the FTA for the obstruction? What about that? Like the one I haven't had that separately.
Well, so no, the FTA is for this case, and that goes away since we're taking the plea.
Yeah, you missed court here once. That's why we had to do your bond all over again, but it turns out that the company had surrendered your bond.
Right.
And so Ms. Rio shared with me and with the prosecutor, probably you're not going to be able to post a brand new bond because the bonding company came off the old one and you were prepared to, in your best interest, resolve the case. So
Okay.
that's why we're talking today.
So I have a question. So what about the instead I have a failure to appear for obstruction? Like is it?
Wasn't it this case? It was the only case?
Yes,
that-
the failure
only-
to appear is for this case. The other willful obstruction is a separate case. It wasn't for this one.
So
Okay.
you'll be getting, that won't hold you in. You're
Right.
good on that. That goes away when you resolve the case.
Right. There is a misdemeanor case rattling around out there. You got arrested. Are you referring to the one from 23? That's the only.
No.
You have something more recent?
On his GCIRC reflects a, July 25,
Oh, okay.
willful obstruction.
Well, it's South Fulton.
Yes.
Okay, so that's separate or?
Yeah, that's not this. The obstruction we're talking about was you were blowing up enough, these guys had to tase you. So you had a bad day on March 11th, 24.
Yeah, I did have a bad day.
That's all we're talking about here. We're not, whatever happened in July of 25, it may have been resolved. It may be South Fulton doesn't do anything with it. That ought not to be something that holds you in custody because, I don't know, you never got booked in the county jail for that.
Yeah, I did. They gave me a citation.
Done.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to see, will I have to,
You may have a court date. What you want to do, does someone still have that citation?
like at home or something?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
No, it's kind of, because I kind of moved out the house because we're remodeling the house. I don't have the paper, so.
Well, what you could do when you get out, and you'll be getting out real soon, is call South Fulton and say, hey, I had this arrest I got a citation back in July of 25, whenever it was. I don't want to be missing a court date. But be proactive about it, because if you aren't, they may mail it to this place where they're doing the renovations. And if that's the address they have on file, it's not their fault that you don't get the mail. And then they'll just do a bench warrant. And
Oh, so I don't have a bench warrant yet.
there's nothing showing in the system that you've got a bench warrant from South
It
Fulton.
just shows the FTA.
The FTA was this one.
Oh,
This
okay.
one. You missed court here.
Oh, because I thought, because when I asked at the county jail, they said, okay, I understand now. I told you.
Yeah, your FTA was for this case. You missed court for this case. And so I signed a bench warrant. That's why I caught up with you. You were arrested on February 18th of this year.
Correct.
I don't know why, but in part is because you had this warrant because you missed court.
Right.
Why did you get arrested on February 18th?
I got into an altercation at the store. I mean at Target basically.
With whom?
I got into an altercation
With,
at Target.
I heard you say that, but with whom?
It was with someone like it was just something.
Someone you knew, or with like a Target employee?
It was just something dumb. I rather not discuss it though.
Okay, you don't need to discuss it, but you need to stop doing dumb things too.
Right.
Because it's gonna catch up to you. You're gonna be on probation for a while, and if you
Right.
want it to go smoothly, no dumb things while you're on probation.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
So maybe stay out of Target. I don't know. That won't be a condition of your probation. So I got questions for you. You have 3 kids.
Right.
One of them is only 3 months, so it must, he or she, the 3-month-old? She was born and then you've been in jail. Who's taking
Right.
care of the 3-month-old?
Actually, she's with her mother.
And her mother is Ms. Berrien or is
Her
someone
mother's
else?
not Miss Berry. No.
Okay. Is Ms. Berrien the mother of the 1-year-old?
Yes, the 1-year-old. I have a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old by her. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 1-year-old by her.
Through Ms. Berrien?
Through Miss Berry. Yes.
And then you have a 3rd kid, that's the 3-month-old who's with her mom.
mother, right. And,
Just not Ms. Berrien.
right. And so my son and my daughter, they're with my mom right now,
Got it.
in Douglasville. So,
Not with Ms. Berrien.
no.
Got it.
No, not Miss Berry.
Okay.
Judge, so the jail is showing he has a South Fulton vehicle.
Oh, he does have a hold. Okay, there was a foreign county listed here.
That's the South Fulton.
Okay, so when Mr. Rosser's done here, he'll go to South Fulton.
However that thing works out.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I want to know. Like, is it going to just stay here or?
You will go to South Fulton and go to South Fulton Municipal Court and have a conversation about whatever that one's about.
But this is Fulton, though, right? I mean,
You're in Fulton County. South Fulton is a city. It's just a funny name for a city in Fulton County. It used to be
Right.
called Renaissance.
okay.
That was a funny name too.
right.
And so they shifted to South Fulton. So you are in Fulton County, but the South Fulton situation, it's not an indictment yet. It may never get there.
Right.
But it is a charge for which you need to appear in municipal court, city court, the city of South Fulton. And you're going to figure out what's going on with that. It may be they say, hey, if you do pay a fine of $50, because it's a citation, then we're done with it. It's called binding it over. They may say, actually, this is something we want to have go. If it's a misdemeanor, we'll go to state court here in this building. If it's a felony, it'll come up to Superior Court.
Right.
But stop number 1 is to go to court in the city of South Fulton.
Right.
And you have guaranteed passage there because they have a hold on you. So they will get you from the county jail and you'll go to city court and do whatever. You will be done here. So they either have to keep you or they'll say, hey, all right, we're gonna give you a bond, or you have to do community service or whatever you sort out with them.
Yeah, right.
So it may be that you are released to, we'll call freedom, from South Fulton rather than the county jail.
Okay. So look, enlighten me. I know it's a lot of questions. So enlighten me. So is that like East Point jail? Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know
don't know?
where, does South Fulton have its own, do we know if South Fulton
I know
has?
when they get,
It's similar.
Yeah, it's not East Point per se. East Point has its own jail.
right.
And
right.
so I think South Fulton has its own, just South Fulton is a relatively new city. And I don't know if they have a jail or if they borrow beds from somewhere else.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be surprised if they already, maybe they built a jail. As South Fulton hasn't existed all that long.
Right.
And as we all know, it takes a long time to build a new jail.
Right.
So-
It does.
Those are all fair questions.
Right.
And the person who might be able to answer it would be when you go back to the jail, like, hey, where am I going next?
Right.
What does that mean? Like, where do I spend the night if I'm with South Fulton?
Yeah, I asked that. They wasn't knowledgeable about it, so you know.
Okay, well, they'll become more knowledgeable because when I sign your sentence, they're gonna say, oh, look at that, you get out in a day. And then they have to deal with that hold, which means they call South Fulton and say, come get Mr. Rosser.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
So we covered your kids. You're in college for cybersecurity.
Right.
All right, but you were working at Taco Bell.
Yeah, correct. I was the manager there for us.
Will you be able to get that back or that job's gone?
No, I think it's gone. I'm just gonna have to get another job, you know.
Okay. In Douglasville, or is that kind of where you hang, or where would work
I
be?
mean, yeah, that's why I live. I mean, in Douglasville or probably in the city, because I be in the city, you know what I'm saying? So in Douglasville or either or, like whatever I can, you know.
Okay, I'm not limited. I was just curious if you were going to sort of hang in Douglasville or if you'd be back here. All right. Well, Mr. Rosser, I find that there's a factual basis for your plea. We seem to agree that March 11th was a bad day for you. You and Ms. Berrien got into it. You really took it out on that poor front door. And then it didn't go well with the officers. Is that the only time you've been tased?
Correct.
Yeah, how did that go?
I mean, I can't remember, you know.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I didn't feel too good though, but
All right. Nonetheless, you qualify for first offender despite all that. I am willing to sentence you as a first offender. I need to make sure you understand the risks and the benefit. The good part of first offender is this is not a conviction. If you leave here today as a first offender and you're thinking about going back to college, or better yet, well, not better yet, or in addition, applying for a job, you don't have to check the box of I'm a convicted felon, because you're not. You are a first offender probationer. And that's frankly nobody's business but yours and probation, because it's not a conviction. If you can complete your sentence all the way, you can move to have it expunged, and that's all good for your future as a dad, as a musician, as a manager, whatever it is you want to do. Felony convictions can really hold you back.
correct.
There's a downside to first offender, though. If you do something dumb, like whatever happened in Target while you were on first offender probation, or what happened on March 11th with Ms. Berrien while you're on first offender probation, not only do you have a new arrest, but you come back in front of me and we have to talk about, do we just blow up the whole first offender thing? And the state will argue what they argue. And if they think that you should lose your first offender status because you've pled guilty, I can resentence you up to the maximum. I'm not saying I would do that, but it's a bunch of years. And so this relatively good situation you're getting right now could collapse into, oh, it's a 5-year sentence because you mess up your first offender.
Okay.
So if you think that at age 28, as a responsible dad, et cetera, you are done with the dumb situations, then first offender can work well. If you're not so sure how you're going to roll with all the things you're trying to do, first offender actually is a gamble because it can end poorly.
Right.
Do you feel like you understand the benefit of first offender and the risks?
I totally understand.
All right. And do you want to be sentenced as a first offender?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Rosser, I do find there's a factual basis in your case that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Ms. Rios, can someone in my office sign the indictment for you?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Willingham
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Rosser, can we electronically sign your name to the indictment?
Yes.
I will, for the most part, follow the recommendation that was negotiated here. On count one, I am sentencing you to 3 years to serve 3 months because you actually get credit for both those blocks of time. Balance probated. And then your sentence for the 3 misdemeanors is 3 months to serve. They'll all run concurrently with the first sentence. So your total sentence is 3 years to serve 3 months, balance on probation. So you just shaved off a month of probation because you've been in jail a little longer than your lawyer thought. So you'll be on probation for 2 years and 9 months. Special condition of probation number 1, the most important one, no contact with Ms. Berrien.
Okay.
That means that if for some reason the way it shakes out with the kids is that they end up with her,
Right.
if you want to see them, someone other than you, your mom, someone else needs to coordinate with Ms. Berrien to get the kids. Now, if they're staying with your mom or they're staying with you, then that's a Ms. Berrien issue and not a you issue.
Right. Well, yeah. So the kids are staying with me and my mom. You know what I'm saying right now. So, but it's that. But what if she come around me? Because sometimes, like, she come like.
It's not meant to be a trap. It's not meant to be a trap. So if she comes around you, you want to record it and walk away and say like, hey, I don't know why you're walking around here, and go away from her and send it to Ms. Rios
So
saying,
how do I? So I can report it to like. How do I?
you let Ms. Rios know, assuming it's intentional. Now, if you're just walking down the street in Douglas, I don't know if she lives in Douglasville, but pretend she does. You're just walking down the street in Douglasville and she's walking down the street. That's a random encounter. She's not coming around you. But if you see her, you need to turn around and walk the other direction. But if you're at your place of work and every day she's showing up there, that's weird. And she needs to not do that.
Right.
And that's why you would need to let Ms. Rios know, hey, I don't know, I don't want to get in trouble for this.
Right.
I'm working my shift and she shows up saying, I got a bad taco. That's not on you. And ultimately, Ms. Willingham or I would need to engage with Ms. Berrien saying, you asked for no contact. That means that you shouldn't be going around Mr. Rosser.
Right.
Now, she may change that. You heard Ms. Willingham say, I'm having a little trouble reaching Ms. Berrien. Because you have kids together, she may say, I just want no violent contact. I don't want him to put his hands on me. I don't want him to kick in my door, but we have kids. And so we're going to need to meet at the Kroger so I can give him the 2 kids and he can drive away. Or I need him to bring diapers. It needs to be okay that he comes to the house.
Right.
But the last time she spoke her mind, it was, I do not want Mr. Rosser around any way, shape, or
Right.
form.
Yeah. I think correct. I just
So
sometimes the female can be a problem too, and they can manipulate the system and make it like they got a problem. I don't know. It just
those females.
right.
So you just need to not respond to texts. If you get texts, you need to just be careful, okay?
Okay.
But we're not going to assume that Ms. Berrien is interested in reaching out to you at all. If it starts to happen, you let Ms. Rios know.
Okay.
So no contact with her. You need to complete the Family Violence Intervention Program. That is a series of classes, it's not just one. And you need to enroll within the first 3 months of probation. So I don't want you waiting until you got 4 months left and then you can't finish it. So that's within the first 3 months. You'll need to complete 60 hours of community service. You need to do that within the first 6 months of probation.
Okay.
And you'll need to maintain employment. That doesn't seem to be a challenge for you. You have a lot of skills and you're doing lots of things. So just stay working. And then you're going to need to stay away from an address that I can't tell you right now because I don't know it, but it's going to be in your sentence. And that's wherever Ms. Berrien is staying now. That one should be easy because you're going to have no contact with her anyway.
Right.
But that just puts a marker down like, hey, I need to stay out of that neighborhood because that's where she's staying.
Oh yeah, most
Okay.
definitely. Most definitely.
Good. Was there anything else, Ms. Willingham?
No, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Rios?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosser, do you have any questions about what we discussed? Any more? You've had plenty, but you can have more. Do you have any more?
No, I do not. I do not. So one more thing though. You said it was a FCA like a foreign county. What was that like? Was it here or?
No.
Oh, it's South Forest. Okay.
Yeah.
South Fulton.
I'm
It
sure.
just says foreign county. It
Trying to
shouldn't
get-
say that. It's just a different jurisdiction.
Right,
So
right.
you'll go to South Fulton.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ms. Simpson is with probation. She's going to give you reporting instructions. It sounds like home for you is going to be in Douglas County.
Correct.
So you'll be supervised in Douglas, you'll need to report in Douglas. She's gonna give you that address and a date and time when you need to do that. Don't miss that. That's like your kickoff with probation, and if you're not there, they just reach out to me and say, no show, could we have a warrant, please?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
I'm good. Awesome.